Click record. And yeah, welcome everyone. Just a couple more minutes, I think, for I'm gonna look through my agenda here. We are missing Sima, so I'm messaging Pavel, who's helping us put everything together. He's figuring it out. Got a pretty good agenda today. I'm waiting for a little bit of throat medicine to kick in, so I'm gonna let one of you guys go first because I'm I've got a little bit of a deeper voice than usual, let's say. And there she is. So Sima's here. Hey Sima, how you doing?
I don't know why it's showing that name.
Oh. All right.
Yeah,
perfect. What's that? Sorry, I think you're cutting out a little bit. Or is it on my side? Oh. Having none of it. All right. I mean, I think we can get started. You know, we got people here. So we'll cut out this whole entire beginning bit. No one sees this. It is 11 sharp my time. It is 1 sharp 00 as far as the recording is concerned. Everyone, honestly, thank you for coming. Today's I'm filling in for Michael Begg, I'm sure. Here's how everyone was hoping that Mike would be on. It's okay, I'm wearing a AMZ shirt. That's cool too. Been at AMZ for years and years and years. And today's topic, what we're going in is leverage. We're learning to leverage Amazon and Shopify for e-commerce success, right? Ultimately, we're going to approach this from multiple angles, but the question here is how are we maximizing sort of the potential of both markets? And I'm sure I'm going to take the assumption, at least when it's my turn to talk, about that everyone that's watching is either pro Amazon or pro Shopify, right? And it's sort of everyone sort of has like one thing that they know, and it's always like, yeah, but why would I be on the other one? And hopefully today we're gonna help you see what you should be on both. Now, we have 5 panelists. I'm waiting for a little bit of medicine to kick in. Would anyone volunteer to go first, or I can just pick someone from our list in the order that we have it?
Yeah, I'd be happy to. No problem.
I saw a little smile coming in. You're like, yeah, I'll do it. Wonderful.
Strike all the irons hot.
Wonderful. Thank you, Andrew. Please take it away.
Brilliant. So for those of you who haven't met me, I am Andy Murphy. I work as an enterprise AE for a company called Dash.fi. So I've worked in e-commerce for about 5 years. Used to work for a sort of working capital lender called Wayflyer, who fund on Amazon, Shopify sellers, and any kind of omni-channel brand. And as a salesperson, I used to have a lot of deals kind of get delayed because ultimately sometimes there were more important things going on in an e-commerce company than just funding. And so from chatting to founders, most CEOs, founders, CMOs are typically buried in their marketing performance each and every day. Marketing, whether it's controlling your CAC or generating LTV in the future, is the lifeblood of an e-commerce company. And so from talking to those founders and getting feedback, one pain point that I kept hearing was that they felt they were leaving revenue, profit, and ultimately customer LTV on the table due to credit card issues. So I kind of started looking around in the industry, tried to see was there anyone potentially trying to solve the problem. And that's how I met my current CEO, Zach, the founder over at Dash.fi. So he had ultimately been a media buyer himself for about 10 years, building up BigCommerce up until their IPO in 2020, and then ultimately started his own analytics platform, which got to about 1.5 billion in annual transactions going through his platform. And ultimately, the data that he was seeing actually did, correspond or confirm that founder sentiment, that sometimes card issues did actually lead to brands missing out on revenue, profit, and potential rewards. So long story short, he wanted to come up, given his media buying skills, with a financial services product that ultimately became the most, reliable, scalable, and best cashback reward card he could potentially make in e-commerce. And so he got into a Visa Accelerator program. Then he signed an exclusivity agreement with MasterCard. And the product itself really focuses on sort of three key pillars or three key pain points and how Dash.fi has actually solved them. The first is really around sort of card authorization. So if you think as an e-commerce founder, the amount of things you could potentially be putting through your card, you could be, paying a supplier overseas, you could be paying for travel and entertainment domestically, you could be doing your media buying through that card, all of which are completely different types of spend behaviors, and all of which could trigger, card declines, card authorization issues. And if a card does decline and your ad stop running for that particular day or week, that could be a huge amount of missed revenue and profit from the card alone. So in order to counter that one sort of pain point, Zach, through the exclusivity agreement with MasterCard, ultimately wanted to win brands' digital ad spend. And what that does for Dash.fi is that actually gives us a really strong, high caliber of company. So if you look at a bank or a credit card company and you use their card, you're probably being bundled in with electricians, car washes, all this different type of spend behavior, and ultimately a lower interchange and a lower card authorization rate. Whereas because we're focused on winning people's digital ad spend, typically we're moving a bit more up market, but that allows us to work with MasterCard to get better bank bins and ultimately have a card authorization rate which is as close to 100% as is humanly possible. So that's how we've kind of solved that pain point. The second one is really around credit limits. So if you think about how maybe a bank or a credit card company underwrites an e-commerce brand, they're ultimately, having to give you 30-day calendar month terms. And in order to do that, they have to take on a huge underwriting risk in order to take on the fact that you might default on, calendar day 30, but also they're trying to bundle that with some sort of a cashback or a rewards program. And you can see pretty quickly with defaults and everything thrown in, how that can quickly become, an unprofitable or an unsustainable product. So with Dash.fi, what will typically happen then is they'll look at your FICO score instead of maybe looking at your growth potential, your seasonality, or the amount of throughput or volume that you could potentially put through a card over, say, a Black Friday or a Q4. So that limit, even though you're getting 30-day calendar month terms, which is on average 15 days of credit, can quickly mean that if you're growing, you might pay down the card multiple times per month in order to get access to that limit again. And so really in that case, you're getting like net 2 or net 3 days of credit. What Dash.fi has done is we've stripped out the credit component. So instead of giving 30-day calendar month terms, we'll work with the brand to figure out, what's their seasonality, what sort of spend velocity are they aiming to spend this year, and when are their peak spend days, like a Black Friday. And then ultimately we'll give them a higher daily limit, maybe 2 to 3 times that number, so that they don't have to go in and manually pay down cards. But the charge card does act as like a spend today, auto debit from your bank account tomorrow card. That kind of gets rid of the limit issue, but ultimately allows brands to kind of just scale and have a reliable, scalable partner on the credit side. The way it kind of feeds back into cashback and rewards is that we're not taking a huge credit risk. And as a result, because we get really strong interchange from the likes of Amazon PPC, Facebook, Google, TikTok, any merchant would advertise in its name. We're not putting up those same loss reserves as the credit card company or the bank. And as a result, we can share a really strong cashback with the brand, i.e. 3% cashback on all spend. So that's kind of the value prop of Dash.fi. The way the best kind of Amazon and Shopify or omnichannel brands are using our cashback is in one of two ways. Number one, it is deemed a rewards, which can be uploaded to a rewards card, which if founders don't want to take, like a W-2, it can be deemed as like a non-taxable distribution, given that it is a reward. So a really nice way to pay founders if they're looking to kind of, I guess, bootstrap the company or not take much money off the table in between equity rounds. The second piece in terms of redemption is really an ACH redemption. And the benefit of that is that although the equity markets have been tough the last couple of years, they are going to be on the rebound over the next sort of 12, 24 months. And regardless of what industry you're in, ultimately, you're going to be getting some sort of multiplier if you're acquired based on your EBITDA number. And so 3% cashback based on the amount of spend you're looking to grow over the next 1, 2, 3 years, sent back to your EBITDA line could be a really meaningful number and could put, multiple multipliers, I guess, on your valuation down the line. So ultimately, we're looking to become the kind of most reliable, scalable, dependable partner to win a brand's ad spend in the form of a card product, whilst also giving you guys the best sort of cashback mechanism in order to either take money off the table and pay your executive team, or maybe increase your profit and your valuation down the line. So appreciate the intro, Ramiro, and yeah, if anyone has any questions, feel free to fire away.
Yeah, that sounds fantastic. I think this is a really important solution that needs to happen, and it's really interesting how these sort of financing solutions or these sort of like casual solutions, basically stuff that a lot of founders wouldn't think of until they go, wait, that hurt. Like you said, I looked back and that kind of hurt that month. Like we were out of ads for about 2 days. We were out of ads during Black Friday. Like this sort of things is absolutely massive. So no, really appreciate it, Andy.
We're actually also, we're also actually like a Dash.fi partner too. Hi, Andrea. And from like our clients' end of it, like the way that I pretty much like say that is like, it's just the free money. So that money you're spending it anyways, you're just going to get a percentage back. And it's better than the points or miles, because on those ones, you actually have to spend a certain amount anyways. And then Dash.fi gives the highest percentage available in the industry right now. And then it's just so easy to get. And then for the companies, I'm like, you're just going to get free money that you weren't getting right now. And imagine that percentage that you would have gotten based on your spend that you would have not had it otherwise. And it's just a pure profit that you don't have to put in literally any work other than spending 30 seconds and just entering that credit card information on your ad account. And that's it.
Perfectly said.
Beautiful. I mean, I think that that makes for a perfect segue. Sima, if you would like to go ahead.
For my intro?
Yeah. I think that was a perfect transition. Like we couldn't have asked for anything better. Please.
I am about our company or Dash.fi? I'm guessing our company, right?
About yourself. Yes,
Okay,
please.
awesome. So, hi everyone, I'm Sima Mosbacher. I am CEO and founder of HighScale. What is HighScale? So HighScale is enabling customer acquisition at scale profitably for the largest D2C companies out there. Currently under our portfolio, we have $500 million on Meta, and we're specializing on Meta and TV ads. Our amazing team who are coming from great experience, I would say that is, we're currently producing about 8,000 video assets per monthly basis. And the companies that we're working on 100% pay for performance basis. So we're creating full funnel strategy like a BCG consultant, and plus on top of it, production at the scale that no one else can pretty much match. And a couple of the approaches that we take that in today's speech that I want to go over is that so one of the differences that we have compared to other performance agencies is that first of all, we are actually doing full strategy. So we're not, all of our videos that we create are completely free for the brands to use, and then they are only paying percentage of the spend based on how they perform. And the way that we approach to advertising is not just like throwing spaghetti on the wall and then hoping one of them stick. We're actually going into very like in-depth research. And then from there on, we're going into very granular level of customer segmentation on how people are responding to the messages. We might all buy the same products. We all have shirts, we all buy couch, we buy the same things. However, the messages that we respond to are completely different. So what we specialize on is making that content that would resonate with every part of your customer segment. And the second part of it, what we do is that a lot of companies out there, they're utilizing more, I would say, like a cheaper UGC creators, which is UGC creators is like, if you think about it, what it is, it's like just a normal person that who never proven to have a created content for social media have actually gotten organic content, organic engagement. And plus on top of it, you're basically, it's very accessible and super saturated in the market. So instead of that, what we do is that we're utilizing actual influencers who've created a content that already proven to generate sales and generate organic engagement. And then we are using those influencers with our own in-house production team to produce lots of content. The reason that we do not use influencer content in our ads just created by them is that influencers, as everyone familiar on e-commerce spaces, that they're not very good at choosing the best headlines. They're not best at choosing the best shots, best editors. However, there's already a team who can do that part of it. And then currently we're running about 180 shoots a week with all of our team. And we're able to utilize influencer strategy with that. So that's pretty much what we do. I would say we have a lot of like parts of it. I'm very passionate about our business, so I think that we have a lot of part of it. My background prior starting high scale was coming from it. Me and myself, I built a couple of brands that we got to like 8 figures in scale, all bootstrapped, started from zero, all just utilizing by paid ads. I think that I was in the beginning of the whole digital marketing space when it just got started, when the meta ads were starting and everything else was starting. And then at that time, we were able to pretty much ride on that wave and then just like learn it. My own background prior starting the brands, while I was actually starting my first brands, I was an airline pilot. And it was my full-time job, and my part-time job, which was running my own, first started like was a drop shipping business on e-commerce. And then from there on, I started my own actual brand. When I started my own brand, I quit my job as an airline pilot and then started from there. And I think my background also being an engineer and then just like overall approaching to the marketing instead of actually just like, you know, what I think is the best is actually more relying on a research, what the data shows, what's going to be the best and what's proven to work. And also being able to build like-minded individuals in one group, which is our company, being able to basically provide that to other companies. I love working with brands. Brands are, especially for like the brands that are their sole goal is growth and performance. I just love it. It just gives me so much energy and so much happiness. And just thinking about that, how much more we can actually changes in today's world is that if you think about the advertising when it was in their peak, it was like 40, 50 years ago. And right now, I think that we're going into the new era, which is coming in with the performance advertising. And I think we're in the front of it. And yeah, that's a little bit of explanation about us.
Awesome. That was great.
Thank you.
Thank you for that. I just saw this. I want to make sure that we don't skip over it. We got a question from Eugene, and it was 5 minutes ago. For Andy, actually, it says, do you have a minimum monthly spend on your ad spend to use your services?
Nope. We will work with anyone regardless of size. So whatever spend volume you want to put through the card is perfectly fine.
Awesome. I hope. Let me see, Eugene, are you still in here? Like, I just wanted to. Yeah, they're still in here. Perfect. Just click. We answered live. Just want to make sure we don't miss anyone. Sweet. No, Sima, thank you so much. That was a really good explanation. Andy, Sima, you guys have both really given me the confidence to go next, I think. No, listen, I'm gonna go ahead and I have a presentation. I don't know if anyone wants to go through it. If you would like to hear me speak, I'm gonna be looking at it, so I'm gonna pull it up. I'm going to be looking at it to make sure that I don't miss anything. but we don't really have to pay attention to it. Is that a silly point? Doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and share my screen. Oh my God, I have so many things open that I had no idea. Now, just as you can tell, I have a little bit of a voice thing, but it's numb enough now that we can get going. Hello, everyone. My name is Ramiro Velasco. I'm one of Mike's partners on a couple of different things. I met Mike through AMZ Advisors, and I'm here on his behalf because he had something come up. We're working together for, geez, it's like 6-7 years. And I'm here on behalf of AMZ Advisors, who is an agency that is focused on Amazon, specifically growth. And today I want to talk about a very specific thing because I started my e-commerce journey as an account manager, and I started figuring out how to make other brands grow, right? So this topic is actually really near to my heart because it was a constant battle of going, please, we need to synergize with your Shopify, or please get your Shopify up to where it needs to be to make use of all the money that we're putting in and resources and so on. So I'm, like I said at the very beginning of this meeting, of this webinar, I'm going to assume that everyone or the most participants are either coming from the Shopify space or the Amazon space. Very rarely do we see people come from both and just have a domain over everything. And I'm just going to very briefly go into why we need to be on both and how we can leverage sort of this multi-channel strategy and how we can even make it happen. So that was this. Like I said, I'm very bad at actually presenting and looking at what I have in front of me, but it just kind of looks nice. So I'm just going to use it to make sure I don't forget anything. All right. So this seems like the most silly slide to start on. Why should we be on Amazon? Right? Like it doesn't, well, of course, anyone that's from Amazon goes, well, of course, the volume, right? Large customer, yeah, well, of course, like the volume's there. And because Amazon, like the way I say it is Jeff Bezos has my credit card and I would probably trust him with my first child just because he has so much of my other data that it's like, of course you have to be on Amazon. Everyone, I'm going to take myself off this. I don't want to look at myself. All right. Everyone that it comes from Shopify space goes, well, but the competition is there. Well, but the fees are so high. Well, but it's really hard to get my product on. Well, but I can't customize my consumer's process and funnel and their experience and their, and also, well, what do I do with all my creatives? I can't. We get it. I get all of that. But listen, most of us use one-click buyout. And I think that is a strong enough argument for that to exist, right? Most of us just will go onto Amazon. We'll go to your Shopify, first of all, and we'll go, okay, or I can go to Amazon and I have to put in my credit card. Let me see if it's there. So conversion rates are much higher, which means generally you'll have a better bang for your buck on the ad spend minus fees, right? Just on total sales. Also, they have access to NARF, which is remote fulfillment, which is great for like early expanding. You have access to your brand analytics, which, always really nice because of this sheer volume. And of course, FBA, because anyone of us that's dealt with a 3PL hates our 3PL. Like, I think this is universal. And like every single person in the e-commerce space goes, well, our facility is having a really hard time fulfilling this order that we send in. Like, yeah, always, forever. FBA is amazing. So big pro Amazon. How about there we go. All right, but what about Shopify? Hey, if Amazon's so great, what should I even be on Shopify? Well, first of all, your experience for consumers on Shopify is infinitely better. And again, now I'm talking to the Amazon people about Shopify. It is so like you can go onto a website and immediately be sold. If you have a good enough sort of presentation, a good enough design, a good enough sort of optimized journey of clicks, this is the best shopping experience ever. And like, I'm sold from the second I saw your color scheme. This is very, very powerful. You also get access to their email, to be hitting them up with loyalty program, to be hitting them up with newsletters, to just keep getting everyone back. So your retention rate is actually really, really nice when you're talking about Shopify, right? You have infinite plugins, which is so nice. Like sometimes you feel restricted working on Amazon as opposed to everything you can do on Shopify or whatever your e-commerce platform is. I use Shopify as a catch-all, just like Kleenex. SEO is really nice if you can get like top ranking on like Google, or if you can be doing a lot of backlinking, or if we can do, there's a lot more that we can do. And I think at the same time, that is both amazing and daunting. Okay. But yeah, listen, no one's going to your Shopify if you haven't put the work in. No one knows your website. I'm sorry, I'm not gonna go to, buymyflipflops.com. I don't know you. So there's a lot of work that needs to happen to get people in. And I understand, and this is a constant back and forth. It makes sense that it's a daunting task. First of all, like, don't feel alone in this. There's no built-in customer base. And also, like we said, hey, if I hate my 3PL, imagine them having to fulfill every single order. That really sucks. That really sucks. So listen, I understand. Wait, how do I keep like leaning in. I'm like, all right, we're gonna transition, and then it goes beep, you selected the wrong window. There we go. So what do? We need to have both avenues. Yeah, I just got this intense fear. Am I muted? No, right? Someone would have told me something if I was muted. I'm not muted. And someone's watching me through this for the past 5 minutes. All right, so why do we want to be on both? I will start off from personal experience saying diversify your revenue streams. And this is not a theoretical thing. This is Amazon can take down your hero SKU overnight, and you're just left dealing with Amazon support. There's something to be said for the robustness of reliability that the control of your own Shopify store will do, right? But also, you want to be on Amazon and not just Shopify, because that is the biggest marketplace on the planet. Like, this is where you're going to acquire customers, right? I understand, hey, your margins are smaller on Amazon. Hey, Jeff Bezos is taking 15% of every sale that I make. Yes, but you're reaching an order of magnitude or more of people that you want to reach seller-wise. So as you can see, we're already forming this idea that you can be sending from one to the other or vice versa, and having a more holistic sort of shopping experience for consumers. I personally, I'll go on your website, I'll be sold by your website, and immediately go, Amazon.com, do you exist here? I'm just going to buy it from there. Click buy out. I don't want to give you my credit card number. I don't know you. And so yeah, brand visibility, data driven, like this is all basically what I'm saying. And inventory management. Again, we all hate 3PLs. That's what I'm going to say from that. How do I go about doing it? By the way, if you guys want more information, just reach out, send me a LinkedIn message. Go, hey, I liked it. What do I do? We'll point you in the right direction. First of all, there are benefits to 3PL. So there's 3 ways we can do the multi-channel approach. We can do the 3PL, we can do FBA, and we can do FBA fulfilling your Shopify shipments. Multi-channel fulfillment is very expensive, so you're kind of left choosing between do I want to deal with my 3PL and just be constantly frustrated, or do I want to give Amazon $8 delivery fees? There's a space for both. Okay. 3PLs are flexible and scalable. Listen, it's really nice to be able to tell your 3PL, hey, put an insert with every sale that goes out, or hey, set up a 2-pack and ask 2-packs come in, bundle them and ship them out, so I didn't have to pre-bundle them, right? Like, there's some flexibility that is really nice there. You can, and they can fulfill everything. So for example, the way our operation works in Mexico, which is a whole different story. We actually are on 5 marketplaces, and we get to use 3PL for 3 of them that don't have local logistics. So there is something to be said for have a strong, robust 3PL system that can take over the orders that you can't do through FBA. FBA, I'm going to sell to Shopify people. Listen, imagine just shipping all of the inventory you think you're going to sell for the next 60 days to a warehouse and then never thinking about it again. Like, that is the dream. Competitive pricing. Prime Badge gives you higher conversion rate, even from off-platform orders. Use it. And like I said, multi-channel fulfillment is expensive as all heck. I think I'm over time, so I'm just trying to rush through these. Evaluate what makes the most sense for you as a seller, as a brand, as a brand manager, whatever it is that you're doing in this space. Evaluate what makes more sense in the logistics space. But don't let it discourage you or don't let it stop you from doing the multi-channel for the multi-channel sort of approach to selling. I just spent the past 10 minutes talking about why both, but just to conclude, I'm going to skip it. Just to conclude, these two channels complement each other hugely, and I think it's very easy to get stuck in one lane and just say, well, this is what's making us money. Yeah, because you haven't put the effort into the other one, right? So make sure that you're at the very least having these conversations internally and looking at your sales process and going, all right, how do we leverage one strength to get the other one up and running, right? Fulfillment should not stop you. If you need any fulfillment, like if you have any fulfillment questions, send me a LinkedIn message. I'm happy to answer. If you're running off-platform ads, send them to both. I keep running into these conversations of like, well, our Shopify makes it more money, so get us there. Have you heard of organic ranking? Come on, we need to be pumping Amazon as well. Just be splitting this. And I mean, at the end of the day, if you've been doing it for a bunch of time and now you know where your consumers are really happy and where you're making the most money, then go there. Don't make it a foregone conclusion. Okay. Whew. I think that was the most efficient I've ever gotten. There's a QR code here if you want to go to AMC Advisors. There's Mike's email there. I don't particularly want to answer to his emails, so reach out to Michael. And yeah, thank you for listening. Does anyone have any questions? Solid no. That was a solid, deafening silence. I love it. No raised hands, no Q&A. I'm gonna take it that I explained it well. Thanks everyone for listening. We have Daniel and we have Joseph. Who wants to go first, or should I just?
I could go first. I think
Go
that
for
actually
it.
transitions pretty well.
Beautiful.
Yeah, great presentation, and I like the deafening silence for a no. I think you explained it quite clearly from my end.
Thank you.
Yeah, so my name is Joe Phillips. I am an account manager with BidX, and BidX is a advertising software for Amazon and for Walmart. So if you are Shopify focused, don't tune out absolutely yet. I'm going to be talking about overall structuring your campaigns to be really tight with your money, to prevent leakage, to structure smartly, and to be displaying at the right times. So while most of it is Amazon focused, most of what I'm talking about here, it can be transferred directly to Shopify, just in terms of overall being wise with how you structure things with your campaigns and getting the most out of your ad budget. So just like Ramiro, I have some slides here that I'm going to kind of breeze through and relatively talk about, but also talk off of. So I will pull those up because again, I'll be looking at them, so you might as well too. Okay, I think it's working. So first of all, I'm just going to go right into what campaign structure is. Assuming most of you know, it's just the way that your advertising types are all organized and how they all fit together. The big takeaway from here is that what your strategy looks like is different for every advertiser, every company. But the big advantages of it are when you have a well thought out structure and you know what you want to do and how you want to execute, you're going to see increased performance, better control over your money, and unique play out that's tailored right to your brand, rather than just, oh, I'm going to run things on auto campaigns and let Google or Facebook or Amazon decide how they want to spend my money. So getting right into it, we do use the auto campaigns in terms of, there is merit to them, but the big idea is that we want to transfer things out of our auto campaigns and get them into the control of our manual campaigns, because once, as an advertiser, again, you want that control of your money. don't want to be giving it to Amazon, but there's still merit in what they're doing. There's still competitors joining every day. So rather than going through and having to find out more about your competitors, you can let the auto campaigns do it and harvest from there. So real quick, this isn't a reminder of me telling you guys to sharpen up, focus. Focus regards what your grouping or strategy is for a particular set or collection of campaigns. So right here, we have like a top campaign, the middle, though it's in German, means attack, and the third one is brand. So a collection here, this is kind of how it would look in the BidX tool, but in German here, as we are a German company. But like a top campaign, like those are obviously your most important high volume search terms, keywords. Your attack would be, if you are like a garlic press company, you're isolating that brand by brand by brand. And when you group everything together, those ASINs, those specific SKUs, put those together with branded keywords. I want to keep those all together, as well as brand. Brand probably sounds bad now that I said it that way, meaning your own brand. So the reason why all of that's important is because you're going to have different target ACoS, different target ROAS strategies for what you want on the most, on like the highest spend keywords for your top keyword campaigns, what it's going to look like for if you're doing a product launch, you're going to have different sensitivities on what you want to invest into ads there versus, competitors and your own ASINs. So because of all of that, whether you're using like an automation software or going through and running bulk files on your own, the big thing is, and I'm sure this isn't news to many of you, but I have to say it anyways, you want to group things together and be smart. Start off with a solid foundation, have a really good campaign structure here. So by having particular focuses or different strategic groupings of campaigns, it's the best way to start off and really separate out separate by strategy on what you want to do with different campaigns. Different campaigns have different objectives. And if, it's kind of like that kid in middle school, right? There's somebody with all their papers in their backpack. And then there's somebody that has like labeled folders. Who's probably going to have the better grades? It's the kid that does a better job organizing everything. The same thing holds true here. So quickly going into best practice here, what it all looks like when you roll it out is you want to have, this slide isn't too important, but across all of your different ads that we put together there, again, I kind of like breezed through a bunch there, but with everything for an Amazon talk, sponsored product ads, sponsored brand, sponsored display, your 3 different ad types, you want to roll in these different strategies and really tie them in across all ad types, across all strategies that correspond to those ad types. And overall, once you do that, you're going to have that tight control over what's going on. And, if there's certain things going on with the competitor, you're able to, rather than invest money all up front and go against one competitor that way, if you can isolate it down to what one of your competitors is doing through your highly organized campaign structure, you're going to have a lot better results, be a lot more efficient with your spend. So the second thing, now that I got past overall structuring and again just being organized and smart with your campaigns, is the idea of like dayparting and scheduling. So within Amazon, what it means is being able to adjust campaigns temporarily or seasonally. So whether it's like a one-time thing for a Prime Day, or whether the weekends are really important for your product, or say you're doing construction sales and you want to sell 12 to 6 because people aren't buying out of those windows, the rest is all browsing, you can have really tight control with how you display there. So you can turn campaigns either on or off based on the times of day that people are either ordering, converting, or there's a ton of data out there on how you can split it up. Like leading KPIs are different for many different businesses, but depending on what like the most important KPI that you want to isolate is, if you can isolate it and understand who your target audience is, break down your budget based on what the data tells you, that is a great way to utilize your budget in like the most effective way. So you can just a quick couple tidbits. You can turn campaigns on and off. You can increase or decrease bids and or budgets at the same time, depending on what it is that you're looking to do. Another thing, this one is more Amazon specific, is you are able to do scheduling based on your bestseller rank or sub bestseller rank. So essentially what it means is on the screen here, we have the example of between sub bestseller rank 200 and 5,000, do nothing to my bids and budgets. But if I fall below a certain ranking, I want to inject more capital into my campaigns. And then from injecting more capital, it's going to increase my amount of sales, in turn, increasing what my BSR is. So on the flip side of that, if I were to bypass and go above, get a better ranking above 200, between 200 and 1, then I want to rely on my organic sales and take the foot off the gas from my campaigns there and get more from my organic sales without injecting more capital into my campaigns. And so why are these two things? How does this compare to what I was just talking about before with campaign structure? So this is like somewhere where you would want to, once you have those campaigns isolated, rather than scheduling all of your campaigns all at once, so you're either on or off and just like generic 1-0, if you can understand what the most important keywords and search terms are for your specific products, isolating them into these schedules with like really high spend campaigns is an excellent way to really be in control of where you're showing up on Amazon, and overall just get more sales, what we all want to do at the end of the day. All right, and the last thing, this one comes together for more Amazon and Shopify. I'll breeze through it because I think I'm pretty close to time here, but negative keywords. So just real quick, negative keywords, what the best thing about them are is you can improve your performance by avoiding unnecessary advertising costs. Another thing so not only do you not want to spend money on keywords, search terms that aren't relevant to your product, because you're wasting money, but in the eyes of the algorithm, no matter what platform you're advertising on, if your CTR falls and the keywords that you're bidding on aren't really like showing that they connect, you're going to lose favor in the algorithm, and it's overall just going to tank how you show up and diminish the amount of sales that you get. So by implementing negative keywords, it's something that I know some people are super super on top of and want to be doing it all the time. And if you're not, I think you should be one of those people. They're super important, and you want to make sure that you have 100 positive keywords. You want to have X amount of negative keywords. They should be there. They should be prominent, and you should be very on top of them to make sure that you're not spending money where you don't need to and losing relevance in the eye of whatever platform you're on. So yeah, there's two kinds here: negative phrase, negative exact. We are able to add them in, based on this whole thing that I mentioned about earlier with like our best practice, kind of went right through it. There's a lot to get into there, but basic idea here is when you can put the negative keywords in the right spot, that's the best way to execute, the best way to protect your spends, whether you're doing it manually or if you're using a tool like BidX in order to do this for you. This is a super important part of the process. And again, relating it back to the beginning with campaign structure, when you have a well thought out structure, when you have a solid foundation to start out from, all of this makes sense, lines up super well. And as you scale your business and increase your ad spend over time, this is going to be the way that you protect your profitability and the way that you're able to grow sustainably over time. And with that, I'm done screen sharing. I think I went over time by like a minute or two, but I tried to get it all together as quick as I could.
That was perfect, Joe. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Does anyone have any questions? Anything they'd like to pop into the chat? Remember, we do have the Q&A section, so if anyone wants to type your questions for Joe or anyone else that has spoken or will speak, please don't hesitate. we had a little bit of a miscommunication. So Sima actually is still gonna present. So sorry about that. There was something going on, and then we got the message. So we're gonna fix that right on that. But Daniel, would you like to get
Sure.
going? Awesome.
Yeah, hi. Yeah, thank you for inviting me for the webinar. It's very interesting
Thank you for
content
coming.
here. Yeah, I mean, my name is Daniel. I'm from GeekSeller. I'm a co-founder. We have a tool that is a multi-channel software. So we simply connect different platforms and helping sellers to automate things. We are primarily focusing on automating order fulfillment and managing inventory, making sure that all your platforms have updated quantities and also that you're not overselling. So that's the core of our business. And actually, majority of our sellers are on Walmart, Amazon, and Shopify. So even though we support also other marketplaces and platforms, this is really what we see where the e-commerce is happening. I'm mainly speaking for the US market because that's also our primary market, but we also serve actually sellers across the world. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the Shopify and Amazon multi-channel fulfillment, MCF, and this is because it's getting very popular. It's very difficult to find a good 3PL company. So we partner with several 3PL companies, but they're struggling with competing with Amazon on the speed of the fulfillment, on the cost. So really, we see a huge shift, people moving to FBA and fulfilling all the other channels also with MCF. So first of all, I wanted to say that we work with many sellers, but also with Amazon sales team who are introducing us to Shopify sellers to help them connect those two platforms. In a very basic setup, as a seller, you can, without any help, without any additional cost, you can connect MCF with Shopify. There is a plugin developed by Amazon that you can install, you can connect. They have pretty straightforward steps how to connect your Shopify to MCF. But at one point, if you sell if you have a lot of SKUs and if you have in mind some more advanced logic behind how you want to fulfill orders, things can get too complicated for this simple integration, and then you may want to look for the external software like GeekSeller, but I know there are also other competitors of ours that do that, which can help you to do those things. And just to give you some examples, for example, the default Shopify plugin is very difficult to utilize if you want to, for example, fulfill orders using MCF, let's say for just a part of the US, and for example, you want to yourself fulfill, let's say, orders from your state, or if you want to partially fulfill a larger order with MCF and the rest of this order with your own fulfillment centers. So this is actually also what we see, how our customers are trying to save money on fulfillment by, for example, fulfilling larger orders with their own fulfillment centers, but sending those small orders with 1 item, 2 items to the MCF for fulfillment. So what's so powerful about Shopify really is that it also opens up you to the different channels like TikTok or Facebook. And we are also promoting very much Shopify because very, very often sellers come to us and they ask, do you support TikTok? Do you support Facebook, Instagram? And we do not have a direct integration, but if you sell on Shopify, just connect your Shopify to TikTok, to Instagram, and then we're gonna pull all those orders from Shopify to us, and then send it to any place you want for the fulfillment. So it's powerful, of course, this MCF, that you can fulfill not only Amazon orders, but you can fulfill other channels. But of course, you have to be very careful with this. Always read terms and conditions of the marketplace, because, for example, Walmart doesn't like when you fulfill orders with MCF. Amazon introduced those two very nice features to ship orders with a blank box, and also an option to do not use Amazon logistics, so that there's no issues with the tracking numbers. But Walmart, for example, they still can figure it out. They can still find out that you actually use the competitor to ship orders. And some sellers trying to do it, but we see a lot of suspension. A lot of accounts were suspended simply with the reason of using the competitors' logistics to fulfill orders. So be careful with this. I know that some other marketplaces, I think like the Etsy, eBay, I think even Wayfair that we work with, they do not care much about that who's shipping, as long as you are not shipping it with a huge Amazon logo on top of the box. But again, be always careful with that, and keep an eye on the terms and conditions that you're signing with the marketplace before you start fulfilling the orders. And again, it's also depending on, I mean, each business is different products cost different amount to ship and to store. So it's really up to you how you want to decide about saving. But again, some of our sellers are able to save on shipment by distributing the orders either to MCF or to their own fulfillment based on the destination, based on the number of SKUs that came in the order, and other parameters. Let me see. So yeah, I think that's more or less the topic that I wanted to cover, which is pretty easy to I don't have that much, I think, convince people to use FBA on MCF. And yeah, I a little bit worried for all of our 3PL partners that they have to really struggle and compete with such a huge competitor like Amazon is.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like every day they're moving into different spaces and taking a little bit more of other people like this.
Yeah, they're adding AI and the robots everywhere. So all those warehouses are now so automated.
Yeah. Sweet, Daniel, thank you very much. I think this, anyone that is on Shopify, listen, look into MCF. We're not always the biggest fans. I think the capability of unbranded boxes and, let's say, non-Amazon logistics is definitely a step. Is it gonna fix everything? No, but you know what? I think everyone should be looking into it. And last but certainly not least, Sima, we ran into that miscommunication. We are all ready for you if you want to take it away. Please go ahead.
I'm sorry about that. I thought
That's all
it
good.
was an introduction, and then I just like went in more with that instead of actually what was
Hey.
my talk about.
But now we all know you're a pilot, which is amazing. So please.
Thank you. That's usually, I would say, like one of my successful like speeches on like any of the like D2C events. That's usually like the fact that everyone's like, whoa, pilot, how did that happen? So yeah. Awesome. So in today's webinar, what I wanted to go over is that pretty much everyone who's probably in this call or anyone who's listening, you guys have TikTok app. And every business who's advertising, or any business who has a business, I think that they should actually be able to utilize TikTok ads in order to get in front of the customers. So the way that advertising changed since transitioning from, I would say, like traditional TV to like TikTok is that In TV, you basically couldn't skip the ads. Sound was on. You had to basically watch that 1 minute ad where they were just like shoving down your throat their information that they wanted. However, right now on TikTok, because of that content is pretty much available and it's user generated and algorithm is optimizing it based on your likes, it's very hard to be able to keep people at like watching your content. So it doesn't have like it basically you can't make traditional ads anymore for basically TikTok, because in TikTok, people are not going there to watch ads. And it's very different than Meta, that where you're going to discover products. It's more actually entertainment tool where I go to TikTok to just watch videos. I don't go to actually buy products. However, TikTok advertising has been growing rapidly, and almost every client that we're working with that are advertising on TikTok, they've been able to acquire customers profitably using TikTok algorithm. And advertising in everywhere is pretty much in a similar way that you basically just buy impressions. You're paying, let's say like $10 to show your ads to 1,000 people. And you just gotta make sure that this video converts 1 out of those 1,000 people in order for you to get a $10 CPA, or if you convert 1 out of 2,000, you get basically $20 CPA. So in today's webinar, what I want to go through is that 3 largest strategies that I have seen every successful TikTok account is using in order to be able to increase their chances of converting more people out of those 1,000. And I'm just going to go ahead and share my screen and go over it. 1 second. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. Awesome. So we're going to go ahead and then I'm just going to go in here. So strategy number 1 is the very obvious one, is that, again, people don't go to TikTok to watch brand videos. They don't go there to actually, they actually go in over there to listen to other people, what they're talking about. And the best way of optimizing that is actually utilizing Spark Ads. What is Spark Ads? Spark Ads is basically user, like influencer content that is has media, paid media behind it, because the way that organically accounts are showing to more people is that they're just organically, like TikTok is showing in front of you. However, with paid media, you're able to target who you want to show these videos to. So with Spark Ads, first strategy that I would use it on almost every account that we get into, it would be basically using 50 to 60 creators with Spark Ads to create that virality effect. Why using one creator isn't enough? Because in TikTok, people are not making decision based on the one video they see. They actually want to make decision based on multiple videos that they see. Because with one video, what happens is that, let's say you showed your one video, you paid so much time and money to create that one video. And then from there on, one of our clients comes in and then they're showing 60 videos from 60 different creators for the similar product and targeted the same audience. You lost that customer. You basically spent money on buying that impression that was not going to convert. And then that's basically just money down the drain and then to the TikTok's pocket. So other thing is that the reason of using 50 to 60 creators is that each person's face and likeness, which we've seen it on the data thousands of times, is that each person is attracting different audiences. And the way that we would respond to the different faces of how we are trusting them or how we want to be like them, how we get inspired from their content is completely different. So therefore, diversifying your creatives with different influencers is super crucial, because otherwise you're just basically, if you're casting the same type of people, you will be targeting the same people over and over again, and then it will lose the effectiveness of that virality effect that you're trying to create. Second thing is effective briefing. As I mentioned on our first introduction, is that influencers are usually not the best at choosing the best footage. They're not editors, they are content creators, and they create a content for their audience. That's why they've gotten that audience, to be able to engage them. However, they're not people who basically sell products in their full-time role, where internally there's actually really good people that they're very good at writing sales pitches. However, influencers are very good at presenting them. They're basically your spokesperson who are able to just go in and then introduce the brand in a more engaging way. So one of the things that is doing that is actually making sure that you're separating it out, influencer roles from whatever is going to be on the strategy part of it. Because when you try to combine them all under one umbrella, what happens is that you're either getting someone who basically desperately needs it, and then they're saying, I will do whatever it takes, and then it actually doesn't happen. The second thing that is you actually hire someone who thinks that they could do it. However, in end of the day, they just have this false confidence and they just think they know everything, which is, I would say, that is even more dangerous, because end of the day, you're just getting terrible results. And also you're losing so much time. Every trend, I would say that in social media, we've seen that the window, it stays about like 18 months. So by the time that you get your results and then it failed, you're pretty much like losing that time frame where all of the other companies are able to catch up. And even though you might have had something really good going on with your business or your idea, that's pretty much like at that point is gone, because all you need is like someone that was actually just starting a business and then just copies everything that you do. And then from there on, they just go in and then they just literally launch the same thing with more advanced strategies. And at that point, they're basically having that winning edge. In this one, I basically have it that what is effective briefing? Each basically part of it has to be in. Even if the brands are not able to afford it full time, or they don't work with a like company like us, I would say that even consulting each of these roles are super important. And I would say that having influencer marketing manager full time in-house is one of the crucial ones, because each, I would say, influencer marketing manager, especially the ones that are coming in from experience, they already actually absorb the brand. They understand the category. They understand who's buying it. They understand also like user trends, because choosing an influencer is not just like going in and writing it and then just like pulling out the names. No, it's actually understanding that which one of their content is targeting which audience. And then from there on, you're able to then create that effective content. From there on, producer part of it is super important, because as I mentioned, influencers are not best at choosing the best shots or the headlines for selling your particular product. And producers are amazing at storytelling. They can basically, every agency owner that I've basically met, they're coming usually for a non-production background. And every time they're little like, yes, what does the production do? Like, it's that. And I'm like, they tell a story that you actually want to watch, because you could tell me the best sales pitch in the whole world. And if the storyline doesn't make sense, I don't want to watch this video. I don't want to watch that person. Everything about it is just terrible and awful to watch. There is no, basically there's no, like, you just lost that. You basically completely lost that opportunity where you got in front of a customer. And then because of the story, you basically lost that. Third part of it, it would be strategist and creative, like senior strategist. With the creative strategist, what you get is fresh breath, and you get someone who's basically always coming up with new ideas. With someone who's more senior, you actually get the experience. A lot of seniors, because of that, they have the experience. It's basically like almost like, even though it's an advantage, it's also a handicap, because how it could be a handicap is that you're limiting yourself all of the new ideas because you just go for the best practices. However, the newer creative strategists, they're coming in with more new ideas, and then the senior ones can tell them when some idea they've tested in the past that didn't work. So therefore, you're able to limit your fails and also in the meantime, be able to optimize your wins as well. And the third one is capitalizing on trends. Super important. I would say that is whenever there's a new trend, algorithms are already organically boosting them, because even though a lot of people might think that a lot of social media platforms actually care about their advertiser, they honestly don't care. They care about their users. They care about how long their users are going to spend on their platform, which is successful strategy, I would say, for any kind of a business to care about their customers. And one of the things is that using the trends, it basically gives you the edge that no one else basically can have. However, very important part of it is in there, that is executing them quickly and be able to identify these trends and then go basically from there. TikTok has amazing, I would say, resources of finding these trends. And then from there on, literally creating them is designed for people that all they have is just an iPhone and CapCut to go in and create these videos. So you can basically go ahead and then create these videos by just adding your sales performance sprinkle on top of it, where you will be able to get better CPMs, better reach, and also customers are going to feel like their feed is not being disrupted by advertisers. They're actually going to feel like, oh, wow, this advertiser is actually pretty cool because they're doing all these amazing ideas. Every, I would say, person that I talk to that are mainly TikTok users or they're TikTok shoppers, one of the things that they always say is that, oh, I love this brand because of the videos that they create. They don't say, oh, I love this brand because of how amazing pitch that they gave to me. They say, I love this brand because of the story that they tell and also that how it resonates with them. And from there on, that was my last one. And then discussion questions, anyone who wants to ask anything, I'm happy to go ahead and answer that one. I'm guessing from the panelists, no one is actually going to be interested on the content part of it, but still asking the question.
You'd wrong. Listen, that was not only a fantastic presentation, but as a huge TikTok addict, and someone that is not only a TikTok addict, but I'm consistently, like, I'm currently trying to understand TikTok as a traffic driver in Mexico specifically, which is a little bit different. We don't have Creator Marketplace quite yet. We don't have like a lot of the tools that we should. No, that was fantastic. I truly, truly appreciate that, Sima. So
Yeah,
thank you so much. I do have a lot of questions, but I think I'm gonna email you because we're a little bit over time, and also I gotta get my thoughts in order. Like, you had me Googling things during that, so that was great. Thank you. We're a little bit over time. Let's see. We have a question, I believe, for Sima. It doesn't say. It doesn't have a. It says, is Shopify collabs worth it at all? Does anyone have an answer to that?
I don't know what Jack means by Shopify collabs.
Yeah, me neither.
Maybe
Jack.
like running the ads to Shopify instead of Facebook, like instead of TikTok.
Let's see, Jack. Can you provide us with a little bit of clarification?
If that's the question, it's their
their commission program. I think it sounds like we don't know. Is that right to say?
Let me see. I'm gonna be looking into that one.
Shopify collabs. Oh, this
Okay,
seems...
so looking for influencers on Shopify collabs. I would say the best way of finding influencers on like any platform is basically just, it's honestly sounds too easy, too good to be true. However, that's literally most obvious answer is the actual answer that I have seen it across like thousands of influencers is find your category, go to the top creators, find who they are, contact them. They already have the industry knowledge. They already have the love for the product. Using any of these softwares, influencer marketing softwares or nothing else, I've never seen ever it generated any returnable, I would say, like outcome from it. I've pretty much seen that like pretty much all of them are just like, they're doing an amazing job of like selling it to you. From being on the brand side of it, I've gotten sold so many times. However, in reality, what I've seen is that none of them make any incremental change on your business. You do not need access to a million influencers. All you need, and TikTok makes it available, there's literally a search bar. You can go ahead. You're selling water, search for water. Search for relevant things with water. Who else is drinking water? Who's your customer audience? What else other products that they would buy? They would buy energy drinks, they would buy coffee, they would buy soda. Search for what they're searching for. And then from there on, find the creators who've already created those top content because they already have the knowledge and you don't have to pretty much like bet on nothing because it's basically betting on literally the worst horse if you are going after the creator who've never created a content for your product. However, when you're going after the one, imagine that you're betting on a horse that have won the last 20 games that they're going to be, playing it right now.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Jack was very happy with your response, so that's
Thank
great.
you,
Jack. Okay, well, I think we can call it there. That was a fantastic, like, this is the first time I think that we've gotten 5 panelists and actually stayed roughly within the hour that we were given. So, thanks everyone for joining. If anyone has any more questions,